buy these Yu-Gi-Oh cards before they skyrocket in price.
It has to go a little higher. Forgive me.
Today, big dogs, Chad and I are going to be talking about some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you should be looking at because they will eventually go up in price. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with y'all, big dogs? And it is
an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh!
I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. And in case you guys didn't know what today is, let them know, chat. What's today? Wednesday? Brother, man. Update Monday! A particular time where I trick you into thinking that this is a Yu-Gi-Oh video when I actually want to make you a better person overall. Really quick, guys, I want to update you on my life. In case you didn't know, I'm coaching girls flag football. I don't know how it happened, but they cute eyeballed me into coaching them. And boy, was our first game terrible. Chat knows all about this. We got destroyed. I have never lost a football game that bad. It was a BTA session. It made me question everything about myself. And I think that that's something that we can all relate to. We've all been put in situations where we may question our ability or who we are. Kind of like when I said that video about the ban list or something like that. You guys remember that? And I was confident that the leak was real. And people are going to doubt you. They may down on you. They may even turn their backs on you. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do what Kendrick Lamar tells you to do. And that piece of advice by Mr. Lamar is keep your head down and work like I do. We just so happen to have another game come on after I fixed the whole playbook and we blew them out. And they about to be the best duelist to ever carry a football. Not great at football, but they will know how to run movement. The moral of the story is keep your head down and just work. If you fell at something, that means you need to put in more work. Eventually, you'll see the light of day. Believe in yourself, because I do. Just like how we believe that these cards are cards that you should be picking up. Today, we're going to be talking about some cards that you guys need to buy either because of Dooms of Dimensions, the new Yu-Gi-Oh set that's coming out, and it's expected to make a shake-up in the meta, or because these cards are ridiculously cheap. Why wouldn't you pick them up? Let's start off with some Doom of Dimension cards. Chad will chime in some other cards, and then we'll move to some cards that are already out. I think that DDD is one of the strongest rogue strategies coming into the set. Granted, it didn't do too well in the OCG, but we know that there's a couple of inhibitors, one being Maxi in the OCG. I think that DDD has an opportunity to make a run in the TCG, and if it does, you're going to need these cards because they're really hard to get. One is DDD Devicer King Deus Machina X. This card is crazy strong, and it has a pretty cool effect that allows you to attach cards as material to it. The card's last printing was the 25th anniversary Dueling Tens Heroes Mega Pack, and before that, it is an ultra rare out of Battles of Chaos. With no reprints in sight, I think that this card is not only a good generic Yu-Gi-Oh card to have, but is also good in case DDDs ever become popular. And speaking of such, I think you should also pick up DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. This card is pretty good for DDD. In fact, King Gilgamesh only has one printing from Dual Overlord and is an ultra rare. I think not only are those cards really important for DDD itself, some of them have flexibility like DDD Wave King Caesar, which is the last card I think you guys should pick up from the DDD line. Wave King Caesar has been dropping in price drastically for the QCR. It's about $20, but isn't necessarily a bad Yu-Gi-Oh card. The reason why it's dropping in price is because Fiendsmith isn't as flexible. With Moon of the Closed Heaven finally being banned, players are starting to realize that Wave King Caesar isn't as easy to make. But that doesn't mean that Fiend Yu-Gi-Oh strategies, which are getting more support in the future, don't have access to Wave King Caesar fairly easily. OK Lamb says Sky Strikers? Holy! So Sky Striker cards are going to go up in price for a couple of reasons. The first one is that the deck is getting more support, but I think another big one is that both Yummy and Malice could potentially lean on these cards. With Yummy losing Obedient Schooled and Malice losing Splash Mage, having a spell card that can act as an extender as well as get you multiple resources is going to be pretty important. So I think buying Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage, Widow Anchor, and Hornet Drones is a really good idea. I wholeheartedly agree. I actually want to pivot to you guys talking about the 2025 Mega Packs. I'm not gonna lie, this set is bonkers. For singles, I think that there is way too many cards in this set that people should be buying right now. Like, for example, Infinite Impermanence for a Starlight Rare is $20. The Quarter Century Secret Rare is $50. The Ultimate Rare is $80. Quarter Century Secret Rares are pretty much Starlight Rares with a stamp on it. There's also the Bestial Monsters, with not a single one of them being over $5. Do you guys not remember when Bestials were really important? Just because they're not important now doesn't mean that they won't ever be again. Those are just a couple of cards that I think you guys are slacking on for the 2025 Mega 10s. Never buy these 10s hoping to get the cards that you want. The rarities on it is insane. But there are quite a few cards that are very low rarity that you should be picking up. Heard you had a thing I wanted to tell you about? What's that thing, boss man? Them super slick sleeves the streets been talking about? Oh, you mean the Raven Wing version 4s. Look, I'm gonna cut it to you straight. While there are cards that you buy before they should skyrocket in price, there's also a way to protect your investments. And that's with the #1 sleeve in the entire universe. So go ahead and head on to TheCaliEffect.com and purchase your sleeves today. And also, be sure to check out our mats and other accessories that we have. Actually have the shirt line coming very, very soon, brother. Let me show you. Look at this. Look at this. I also keep something on the streets for you gooners to goon to with mummy milkers. And I'm paying homage to you boys out there that want to be a Yugi boomer. Ooh. Go ahead and go into the website right now. And if you can't, use my TCG Player link anytime you buy on TCG Player. But moving back to the Dooms of Dimension set, I think some other cards that you guys should be looking at, and this is going to sound really, really interesting, are other rank 5 monsters. Canine Crystron, as well as Canine Vanquish Soul, have been hit pretty hard. And Yu-Gi-Oh players are experimenting with pure Canine, especially seeing that Canine is now getting its new starter card that is coming inside of Dooms of Dimension. The name is K904 Noroi. With Noroi coming out, it allows the deck to actually have a really good starter and another level 5 monster in their arsenal. But it also makes you look at really good Exceed 5 monsters that may not have been as accessible when you were playing it as an engine inside of other decks. What about Imperial Princess? Oh, you guys are talking about the common card that allows you to special summon a level 5 monster to either player's field? It's a common. Let me make sure. A common and a rare. Yeah, this card's not going up, but there is some pretty sick work with this card. Hear me out, guys. Paradise Smasher just got banned. And you know Yu-Gi-Oh players are always looking for the next floodgate to do, right? This one may not be as popular, but a card that we should start looking at is Artifact Dagda. This card's really powerful. It gets us access to artifact monsters, but more importantly, Imperial Princess Quinkery can special summon Artifact Molnir to our opponent's side of the field, which means they can't special summon until the end of the next turn. So not only does it allow you to play around Nibiru, because they can't summon on that turn and their next turn, it also locks them out of the game, kind of like what Paradise Smasher does. It requires a little bit more setup, but it's something that could very much happen. You guys are right about that. Moving back to 2025 Mega 10s, I don't think it's a bad idea to pick up some Retaliating Seas. If Malice drops completely off the map, then we might have a situation to where Draco Tail is the 3rd best deck, and you're really looking at a big 3, which means that Retaliating Sea becomes a little bit more important. Starlight Rare copies are only about $3, so I think it's a pretty good investment because it's a solid card. People are going back to Protos. Please, no. Protos may have a ton of printings, but the card to search Protos doesn't. I do agree with you guys. Infernal Flame Banshee is $2. I don't even think you can go wrong with that one. That's just a solid pickup. I think going back to the Mega 10s, it's never a bad idea to pick up those Rose Dragons cards. Is the Black Rose deck good? Probably not. But the Rose Dragon cards, they're Starlight Rare and they're under $1. If I'm being honest, chat, I would probably buy all the Starlights in that set. You guys got to keep in mind, these Mega 10s will eventually stop being printed and the cards will return back to normal. We're also in a spot where Yu-Gi-Oh players aren't necessarily spending money on cards, so if you are buying cards, then you probably look at those. And the last 2 cards that I think that you guys should be picking up is Synchro Overtake. Synchro Overtake is like Fusion Deployment, but for Synchro monsters. The only problem is that, Synchro monsters have not been really good when it comes to mentioning a card on the Synchro Monster. That's pretty much going to change in the very near future. And then the spell card, Duelist Genesis. You really got to look for this card because it's like, if you type in Duelist Genesis, you'll get Duelist Genesis, the set. But Duelist Genesis is actually not bad. If you have a tuner monster in your field or graveyard, add one Synchro Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand. That's good. Glow Bulb will be played in Killer Tune 2. Pick that up. Hey man, I'm not against it. Unfortunately, I don't think Killer Tomb is in Dooms of Dimension, right? So I would say that that's a good buy, but maybe for the late future. But big dogs, that's all that we have for the cards that you should be buying before they skyrocket in price. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and consider giving this video a like. And if you really did, consider buying those Raven Wing sleeves that we talked about, and also following this channel. Of course, big dogs, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll be sure to catch you on the next video.